Well, you've said that you don't believe that Diddy was involved in Tupac's murder at all.
Now, I'm not going to say I don't believe, but I'm not going to say it couldn't happen.
Well, I mean, according to the story, Diddy was having problems with death row, obviously. And he was having, it was like...
Everybody knew they was beefing.
Everybody
knew they was beefing. Everybody knew Suge called Puffy out at the Source Awards. Right. It was high tension. How deep that went, I don't know.
Right. I mean, what Puffy would do, and I've talked to, who was, like, maybe, I think Gene Deal may have told me this, was that they wouldn't, like, hire Southside Crips as security, but he'd be like, hey, Biggie's doing a show, here's 50 tickets. Invite all the homies.
Definitely.
So now it looks like you got this big gang presence with you that you're not actually paying for it.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, that kind of stuff was happening. And according to Greg Kading, there was a meeting at Greenblatt's Deli on Sunset where Keefe was there, a couple other, Crips were there, and Puffy was like, man, I'm sick of these dudes. Like, I'll give $1 million to anyone to just make them go away. Now, was this an actual hit? Like, yo, I'm really gonna whatever? Or it might have been just a dude that's frustrated and just talking shit in the moment, might be high or drunk or whatever. But that's what they say the whole thing is. And then Keefe in his book basically said that after Pac got shot, Diddy called him and said, was that us? Whether that happened, whether that didn't happen, you're not gonna be able to pull phone records from 1996.
No.
So that part doesn't matter. And then the whole thing of this whole $1 million payment, the story goes that Puffy gave the money to Eric Von Zip, who allegedly provided the gun that night and knew both people. And Von Zip kept the money and bought a nightclub. And he did actually buy a nightclub right around that time. Eric Von Zip is dead now, so we're not implicating anybody who's actually alive. It's a very weird, convoluted story. But ultimately...
That's a lot of made-for-TV shit.
Yeah,
there's a lot of made-for-TV movie shit.
Yes, it's a lot.
Yeah, that sounds like a perfect script right there. You know, I mean, if you put it down, the money, the nightclub, all that type of shit. Like I said, people with money can put themselves in different positions than people without. Do people with that type of money do shit to put themselves in maybe some fucked up situations that might lead to people believing? Yeah, they do. Let's face it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weirdos with a gang of money.
Right.
There's a lot of motherfuckers with a gang of money who think they can get away with shit.
There's a lot of people with a gang of money that have gotten away with shit. Let's not forget that part. Let's not forget that part.
I mean, like I said, to be naive and think that it couldn't happen, that would be, that would be a stretch, but who knows? I mean, if he was in fear of Suge and Death Row, as far as what, they were loud, they were stamping their position. What would make you want to offer somebody $1 million to get rid of some dudes? Why? Because they was rapping and disgracing and talking about Bad Boy, and I mean, why would you want to pay somebody to get rid of motherfuckers who wasn't really doing anything physically to you? They wasn't stopping any of your money.
There were some altercations where guns were drawn.
Okay,
that
happens. That happens in regular shit.
Right, but that would still put a lot of fear in you. If you're around a whole bunch of bloods and people are pulling guns out and you don't know whether you're going to walk out that room or not.
At this point,
remember the whole Soul Train Award situation.
Okay, but happened. Me as a nigga with $100 million, I'm not fearing no niggas surrounding me in no room. I am too much money and too much powerful for anything to happen and think a nigga gonna get away with it. Straight up. It's straight up, man.
Suge was terrorizing a lot of people with a lot of money back then. He was going into
that's
record
fine.
labels.
Terrorizing a motherfucking actually doing shit is two different things. You could talk shit all day and try to punk a nigga. That's what niggas do. I'm gonna punk you and I'm gonna talk shit to you.
Okay,
what you gotta do is stand up. And nigga, I got just as much as you, so what? What we gonna do, shoot out? We gonna keep killing each other?
Did you hear about the Vanilla Ice situation? Shit?
I heard about
I interviewed Vanilla Ice about it firsthand and got the real story.
Okay. He was getting punked.
Vanilla Ice
the whole
had
chocolate
a diamond record.
The whole chocolate situation.
This dude Chocolate claimed he co-wrote the record.
I know Chocolate.
You know Chocolate personally.
I know Chocolate personally.
So you've had these conversations with him.
I have not had these conversations, but I know Chocolate personally.
So Suge got with Chocolate and decided that he's going to get Chocolate's money.
Right.
So
something about the songs
the
for
song,
Vanilla
right.
Ice.
The Chocolate wrote it and he never got the credit. Okay. On 2 occasions, Vanilla Ice would be in LA, like at a Benihana. Suge would just show up at the Benihana, sit down with him, start eating his food right off his plate, and basically say, "Hey, I'm around. I'm gonna come see you again."
Okay.
On the third time, Vanilla Ice showed up in his hotel room with his 2 security guards. Suge and a few other dudes were already in his room. Already there, inside the room. Suge grabbed the guns, or Suge or one of his guys grabbed Vanilla Ice's security's guns from them and slapped him up. And then he took Vanilla Ice to the balcony, didn't hold him off the balcony, but basically explained to him that you should sign these documents and, all these problems will go away. And Vanilla Ice signed those documents.
Okay.
Let's not forget the Eazy-E situation, how Eazy-E was allegedly forced to sign over Dr. Dre to death row and then later on said, no, that was under duress. So clearly something happened where whatever he signed, he was forced to sign on some level. So Suge has a history of this type of thing.
Right, and then he has a history of not being able to do that to certain people. So you have to be able to, if that's the situation you in, the first time it happened to me, if I was Vanilla Ice, it would have never happened again. Because first of all, I wouldn't have been slipping to the fact of having 2 bodyguards when I know a nigga got a whole hood. Maybe I don't even come to LA.
Yeah.
You get me? You got to be thinking smart. You can't be thinking that your money is going to get you out of certain situations. As far as with Eazy, Eazy was his own man. So he wasn't intimidated, and that led to whatever the situation that was. He didn't feel like I needed 100 bodyguards and shit like that. Vanilla Ice, I tell a nigga all the time, if a nigga can punk you, he gonna punk you. That's just it. If he can get away with it and he gonna do it the first time, it's gonna happen every time if you don't stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
So, but Suge was an intimidating figure. You get me? He's a big motherfucker, and if Suge coming, he coming with about maybe 5 to 10, maybe 15 niggas with him. So you gonna be intimidated.
Yeah.
Shit. When they pulled up on me by my mom's house, it was about 5, 6 carloads of niggas.
Carloads?
Yeah.
So you're talking about what, like 20 people?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
And you were by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they stopped me on the side street by the car wash. By the laundromat. We just had a simple discussion, and that was it. But, Suge was in the streets like that. So you got to be rolling with 4, 5 carloads of niggas when you moving like that in the streets.